Alright, what's up guys, Brandon here. It's going to be a swing watch list here. I have two trade ideas for you. It's Tuesday the 12th. I'm going to go over a few ideas for this week. I have two. First, we're looking at USO right here, okay? This is an oil ETF. We're talking oil, we're talking gas prices, we're talking all sorts of good oil stuff here. Popped over the scanner here. I was kind of watching the last couple days because this big, nasty red line you see drawn here is an insane amount of resistance, and I'm talking, I have to go to the 10-year chart for this even. Way back in here, the last time this thing seen this level, I'm talking 2014, before 2015 even hit, is the last time these levels were even prominent on oil ETFs right now. And when we're looking at this level here, this 13 and a quarter, after that broke above, it had a quick run up and came back down, find some support right above it, and now we're starting to come back over it. So just like all these other mini support areas right here coming down, it has some if you can imagine, the channel right here is what I'm kind of trying to get at, and this channel right here is what I'm trying to get at with the support and resistance. I'm hoping this thing is going to create another channel up to this guy, okay? So we're just going to look for lower highs. This is a very, very slow mover here, guys. This isn't going to be a 1 or 2 or 3. This is a drop a couple hundred shares and then forget about it. You know, 200, 300, 400 bucks in this thing. Very slow mover. Set your stops. This is not going to be a hard trader. Now, while we look at the 1 year on the daily here, this is for this year, it broke above, rebroke above this 1325 area, 13 and a quarter, and if you can see, it tested it twice already, broke through, it became its new support, ran for a few weeks, all the way up to 1474 was its high, dropped all the way back down. Now it found support in the consolidation. Now this is how it kind of looped this 50 EMA as it's coming down. It's done this a few times in the past, even this year it's looped down here, but we're catching the upside loop right here of the 50. And if you see here on the daily, it broke above, tested the 9 here, failed, broke above the 9 here, fail. I'm looking for this thing to hold above 1325, and that's going to be my stop out point. So we're getting in today. You can look for any kind of pullback here. Once this daily recovers the 9 EMA here, it should slowly grind up. First target, though, what you're going to want to take a little bit off the table at is you're only going to want to get 30 to 50 cents out of this thing first off to pay yourself, because the 50 EMA is coming up on the daily, and sometimes that does cause resistance. Of course, the 50, that's a line that we always play, and once it does go, even back in the previous times, every time you see it go under the 50 for a while, come back to it, there's either a blow through on the 50 or it chops like crazy. So I don't want you to get caught in the chop. So we're coming up to the 50 here, and I'm thinking if you can get in this 1340s level, you can even risk 13. Low breakdown here at 13. It's 40 cents for 100 shares or a couple hundred shares. I'd like to see this continue, grab over the 9, come up to the 50, break through the 50, and at least get to 1385. It looks like there's at least 40 cents, 50 cents on the table here. It's a long swing haul, but it's looking like in the next few days we're going to start this curl up, watch the break of the 50, and you might, even if you're paid yourself and you leave 50 or 100 shares on, this $14 hold number is going to be a decent target right in the middle of this gap down once it breaks over these two resistances and kind of finds itself at these wick tops that I see right here. So you're looking at this 14, fail, broke through, ran, a gap down way under 14, and then slowly curl, hold the 9, break 50, come all the way up here, and at least get to 14, and maybe even break that and keep going. But this is one of those lighter risk trades, okay, where you're going to be able to do a lot of risk management. You could take some sizable size in here and not look for too much of a loss, even if you do lose and it comes back to my stop's going to be 1325 because my position size on something like this is going to be pretty large. The second trade idea I got for you is X. Tariffs, news, you name it, it's been happening. We've been watching this for quite some time, and the level we're looking at right here, this big old nasty red line at 37.5, so 37.50. After we gapped up from 37.50, found resistance, came back down, huge gap down again, this pivotal number here, 37.50. It found support on the 200, came back up. What did it do? It tested 37.50, came back down, looped the 200, but it held in trend from the low. This is a low trend line we have drawn, and it held the 200 loop here, cupped it, handled it, and ran. And then again, we popped over but failed the 37.50s area. Now we could put in a lower or a higher low over the 50. Now we're having a slight pullback, but the difference here is looping the 9 right here is consolidation. You know what I mean? It's kind of getting what it had right here, this loop, before it had a gross gap down. And there's lots of seller wicks, and don't get me wrong, but this thing had tested it 3 times, and now she's sticking above the 9 real nice this time, and it's starting to squeeze up here. I'm hoping X is going to have a nice little gap up soon here. It's kind of it's a grinder, but definitely low risk here as well. So taking position today, this 3750s area is where we're kind of sitting right now at the end of the day. And any kind of pullback that's going to be near this 3750, which is the area we just kind of cleared and held above today or yesterday, is what we're going to try to stay above, that 3750. If it does happen to come back there and break down, you can give it to the 50, you can give it to the 9, but ultimately I'm going to give it to most likely the top of this gap candle right here. You're going to be 36.45. That'll be my stop out. If it happens to go under that, and I'm hoping it doesn't gap through that, something happened back there. So as we're looking at X, looking for that curl up and look for it to ramp this time, because it has tested this level so many times at 37.50 and just kind of had pullback, pullback, pullback. But right now, as you see, we're creating, higher low, higher low, higher low, and we're starting to loop up, and now we're really starting to break through 37.50. 37.50 was only broken through a few times here, 3 times here, tested and failed at this day. This is just a very hard number. So once this is over here and continues higher, I think it's a pretty safe trader. You want to start taking profits. Most likely, I don't know if they'll give you a ton of resistance, but this guy right here, these split gap candles are always something to watch out for. So lines up with the wick as well. So 39.19. So there's at least a point and some change on there. Getting in here, hoping the stop out for me is going to be hopefully before this, or hopefully the top of this candle here doesn't have a gap down, but I don't want to say before the gap down, but 36.45. So that'll be the stop out for me. So those 2 trade ideas for your swings. These are real low risk, high position size for me. So I'm pretty confident in these 2. I'm hoping they grind up, but follow your profits with your stops, guys. If you're getting in this and it's coming up 37.50, 60, 70, 80, you're like, oh, I made 30, 40, 50 cents. Take some off the table. If you had a couple hundred shares on there, you made $50 in a couple days. Like that's huge. Take some off the table. Let 25 shares ride. If you get another 2 points, that's another $50. So don't be afraid to pay yourself and follow your stop up. So you don't get blown through on a big gap down or something you don't see. Or if you're not on the computer, you don't have your app open on your phone, like I do 24/7. Like it's just risk. So those are my 2 trade ideas you got on X here and USO. So good luck. We'll see you in the morning.